Bricks and Fallout, a Suburban Father's Guide to Nuclear Survival. I am a bricklayer and father of two. Part 1, The Wake-Up Call. I've laid bricks my whole life. I know structure, weight, and how things hold up under pressure. But nothing prepared me for the day I truly realized how fragile everything around me was, not the foundation under my house, but the world we live in. It started with the news. Not the usual noise, but warnings from sources I trusted. Geopolitical tensions. Missile tests. Hackers targeting nuclear plants. Something in my gut told me we were getting close to something awful. I wasn't a doomsayer, just a dad in the suburbs of Los Angeles with a wife, 2 kids, and a mortgage. But once you let yourself imagine the worst, it becomes impossible not to prepare for it. So, I decided to act. Not out of fear but out of responsibility. My kids rely on me. My wife looks to me for safety. As a bricklayer, I build strong things. I was going to make sure my home and my family would survive what others might not. Part 2, Home as a Bunker. First thing I did was assess our house. It's a 2-story place with a concrete foundation, stucco exterior, and asphalt shingle roof. Not a bunker, but not a cardboard box either. I started by identifying our strongest internal room, a windowless space in the center of the house. It was the laundry room. Not ideal, but better than nothing. Then came fortification. I started small, sandbags. I built a perimeter of sandbags along the interior walls of that central room. Then I added extra insulation and lead sheets I got from a local salvage yard. Radiation shielding is all about mass. The thicker and denser the material, the better. I reinforced the doors with steel brackets and added weatherproof gaskets to every seal. This would double as a fallout shelter. The goal was to block out radioactive dust, the deadliest thing after a nuclear detonation. Outside, I started digging. My kids thought it was just a project. I said it was a storm shelter. But really, I was creating a trench for potential underground storage and drainage. If a blast hit nearby, it could keep us from being crushed by falling debris. Part 3, The Power of Water. Water is life. After a nuclear event, most water sources become contaminated. I needed enough clean water for 4 people, for at least 2 weeks, preferably a month. I bought 5 55-gallon food-grade water barrels and filled them with filtered tap water, treated with water preservatives. I stacked cases of bottled water in the garage and started collecting rainwater in barrels outside, away from direct sunlight. To purify water if needed, I got a gravity-fed water filter system. Chlorine bleach, unscented, for emergency purification. Water purification tablets. I labeled everything. I taught my kids how to purify water with tablets in case I wasn't there. Survival isn't just storage, it's skills. Part 4, Food for the long haul. I never thought I'd be a guy with a food storage room, but here I am. I cleared a section of the garage and built shelves. Then I stocked it. Rice, beans, pasta, dry goods with long shelf lives. Canned meat, vegetables, and fruit. Peanut butter, honey, powdered eggs and milk. Freeze-dried meals in number 10 cans. MREs, meals ready to eat. Everything was labeled and rotated. I even created a spreadsheet. My wife laughed at first, then she started adding things herself. We also planted a survival garden. Tomatoes, carrots, kale, and potatoes. Not just for food but for something living after everything else dies. Part 5, Breathing Safely. Radioactive fallout kills quietly. It rides the wind. So I bought N95 and P100 masks, full-face respirators, and filters. I stocked plastic sheeting and duct tape enough to seal every window, door, and vent in the house. I drilled the whole family on what to do if the alert came. 1. Get inside. 2. Seal the house. 3. Get to the shelter room. 4. Wait. I built an air filtration system using a HEPA filter and a fan powered by a car battery and inverter. It wasn't perfect, but it could scrub the air in our shelter. Part 6, Power and Light. The grid would go down, that was a given. So I prepared alternatives. A portable solar panel array with deep cycle marine batteries. LED lanterns and headlamps. Crank-powered radios. Rechargeable flashlights. Extra batteries stored in Faraday cages, metal ammo boxes lined with foam. I wired a manual transfer switch to plug in the generator if needed. I also kept hand tools ready. You don't realize how much we rely on electricity until it's gone. Part 7, First Aid and Medicine. Hospitals would be overwhelmed or gone. I created a med kit that went beyond band-aids. Potassium iodide tablets, to block radioactive iodine. Antibiotics, fish antibiotics, stored properly. Burn cream, antiseptic, sterile gauze. Suture kit, trauma scissors. Books, Where There Is No Doctor, the Survival Medicine Handbook. My wife, a former nurse, taught the kids CPR. I practiced stitching on old leather scraps. Not ideal but necessary. Part 8, Security and Protection. Desperation brings out the worst in people. I had to think like a protector. I reinforced all exterior doors with longer screws, strike plates, and steel bars. I installed motion lights, cameras, and a security alarm with battery backup. I'm not a gun nut, but I own firearms. I made sure my shotgun was cleaned and loaded. Ammunition was stored safely. I had a non-lethal option, pepper spray, stun baton. I trained at the range regularly. I taught my wife how to use everything. I didn't want violence, but I'd be ready if it came. Part 9, Mental and Spiritual Prep. You can't survive if your mind cracks. We started spending more time together, family dinners, board games, teaching the kids how to build and cook. My wife and I talked about faith, about our purpose, about how to keep hope alive if the worst came. I printed old family photos, laminated them, and stored them in the shelter. I downloaded ebooks, stored journals, and made sure the kids had toys and puzzles. Survival isn't just about living. It's about why we want to live. Part 10, When the Flash Comes. I hope the day never comes. But if it does, we're ready. If we see the flash, we drop. We cover. We wait. Then we seal. We wait 48 to 72 hours. We monitor radiation levels with our Geiger counter. Only then maybe we emerge. Slowly. Carefully. I've told the kids, this isn't about fear. It's about strength. We do this because we can survive. I'm a bricklayer. I build. And when the world falls, I'll build again from ashes, if I have to. Because that's what fathers do. Part 11, The 72-Hour Rule and Beyond. Once the shockwave and fallout settle, most advice tells you to stay sheltered for 72 hours. That's when the bulk of radiation exposure happens. But that doesn't mean it's safe after 3 days. I prepared for 2 full weeks sealed in if necessary. We have a Geiger counter with extra batteries. I taught my oldest how to read it. I laminated a color-coded sheet. Green is safe, yellow is caution, red means stay inside. Every hour, we check and log the reading. After 72 hours, I go out first, fully covered goggles, gloves, mask, and disposable T-Vex suit. I sample the soil and surfaces with test wipes. If radiation is still high, we go back in. If it's tolerable, we start controlled air circulation and cleaning. Part 12, Decontamination and Cleanliness. Fallout is sticky, invisible, and deadly. I built a deck-in station by the back door, plastic sheet floor, spray bottles of bleach solution, disposable gloves, towels. When I come in from the outside, I 1. Spray my suit with bleach mix. 2. Peel off gloves, then suit, inside out. 3. Shower immediately in the garage utility wash. 4. Bag and dispose of contaminated gear in a sealed drum. We all keep hygiene routines strict. Boiled water for washing, separate rags per person. Bleach solution to wipe down surfaces. In survival, infection can kill faster than radiation. Part 13, Neighbors and Community. It's not just about us. Our street is full of people, some prepared, most not. I started quiet conversations with a few neighbors months ago. Swapped advice. Shared tools. In a crisis, we'd coordinate. One has a deep well. Another's a retired cop. One family has kids the same age as mine. I printed maps, shared backup radios, discussed security shifts if we need to band together. Alone, you're vulnerable. Together, we rebuild. Part 14, Rebuilding a New Routine. Survival becomes your life. We run our days in shifts. Morning, gather water, check garden, assess radiation. Midday, cook, clean, educate the kids. Evening, maintenance, repair, security walk. I teach the kids math using food rations. My wife teaches them biology through the garden. We turn survival into school. This isn't just about making it through the blast. It's about starting over smarter. Part 15, Staying Connected. Communication is survival. We have a ham radio with preloaded frequencies. I check in at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. every day. Most days, it's silence. Some days, voices come through. I keep a journal of every transmission. One day, I picked up a weak signal. A group up north said they had clean water and were forming a survivor colony. It gave us hope. Until then, I keep talking into the void. Because someone might be listening. Because someone might need us too. Part 16, Long-Term Sustainability. Cans run out. Batteries die. So I planned for the long term. We have seed banks stored in Mylar. We compost all scraps. We built a rocket stove out of bricks and a clay oven for baking. We mapped wild edible plants in nearby parks before the fallout. We've even started raising rabbits in a converted dog pen. Quiet, low-maintenance protein. The kids named them all. It's not glamorous. But it's a life. A hard one. A real one. Part 17, The Price of Survival. We've lost things. Friends. Neighbors. The freedom to go where we please. The world we knew is ashes. But I've gained things too. Time with my kids I never had before. Skills I never knew I could master. A deeper bond with my wife. A clarity about what truly matters. It cost everything, but it gave us purpose. Part 18, The Signal of Hope. Last week, the ham crackled at night. A steady voice. Calm. Confident. Los Alamos Survivor Group Broadcasting. Aid available. Vaccine trials underway. Safe zone coordinates enclosed. Proceed with caution. Signal repeats every hour. I played it twice. Then I cried. We pack slowly. Just essentials. Just in case. Hope is a fragile thing, but it's the one thing worth carrying. So we wait. We listen. And when the time comes we go. Because I'm a father. Because I build. Because there's a future waiting to be built again.